My name is Cynthia McIntosh, and I welcome you to Word Alive Ministries. And on today, in behalf of this ministry, for a moment, I want to take us back to a great event that changed our world forever. Beloveds, because of this event, your life and my life will never be the same again. This event was the resurrection of Christ from the dead. This event says to us that our Creator has decided that it is time for us to experience what I call a greater revelation, a greater manifestation of His love for us. This event says that the love of God is ceaseless, measureless, and causeless. This great event called the resurrection of Christ, beloveds, is just a taste of what God has for you. And on today, I want to share just a taste of the revelation, resurrection story from one of my favorite authors. They are John Allen Turner and Kenneth Boa. The book that I want to read the story from is called The 52 Greatest Stories of the Bible. And just for a moment, I want to share with you their thoughts on how that moment went for the followers of Christ. He writes, early in the morning, the women went to the tomb. It was the first day of the week, and they had a lot to do. So they got an early start visiting the body of Jesus, making sure everything was as it should be before embarking on their journey home. Why did they go to the tomb? Because they assumed that they would find Jesus there dead. They had seen him dead. They had watched his body go into the cave. Dead people then, as now, tended to stay dead. But something was not right. Stone was rolled away, and upon closer inspection, they found the grave clothes, but not the corpse. There was no body. What in the world was going on? Suddenly, two men appeared, their clothes shining bright as lightning. What are you doing here looking for a live person among dead bodies? We aren't looking for a live person. We're looking for a dead man. He has risen just like he said he would. Don't you remember? That does sound familiar. He did say something about that more than once, if memory serves. But he also said that he was the Messiah, and Messiahs aren't supposed to die. Messiahs are supposed to kill the bad guy and not be killed by the bad guys. Wow, those clothes are bright. Hurry back and tell the others that Jesus Christ is no longer dead. Bursting back into the room where the dejected followers of Jesus were, these people began to tell them what had just happened. But where do you even begin to explain the unexplicable? It didn't make sense. The stone was where? There were two men whose clothes were shiny who said what? It had been a long and traumatic week for everyone, especially the woman. There had been the parade into the city, that incident into the temple, the Passover, the death of Jesus, and now this. Maybe these women ought to lie down. It was nonsense to everyone. Peter started thinking back to a conversation he had with Jesus a while back. Jesus had asked everyone, "Who do you really think I am?" Peter had answered Jesus before he even realized his mouth was open. "You're the one, the Messiah." And Jesus had applauded him for his answer. But when Jesus had started talking about death and resurrection, it hadn't made sense at the time. And when Peter tried to interrupt Jesus, there were harsh words exchanged. Peter bolted from the room, John hot on his heels. Arriving at the tomb, they saw the stripes of linen, but not the body. What could this possibly mean? You don't suppose. Well, beloveds, I read this to share many great messages with you today, and just one of them that I want to share is this. Your doubt will never stop Christ from wanting you in his life. His love for you is greater than your doubt in him. Your rejection of his voice in your life will not cause him to reject you. He will not let your inability to work through your emotional pain of the loss of his presence from you. Your rejection of his plan for your life will not stop him from trying to give it back to you. Beloveds, Christ is relentless in his plan to keep you in his life. Your moments of lost faith in what he has told you will not end his relationship with you. You see this truth of Christ's relentless, ceaseless love and how he reacted to his followers after his resurrection from the dead. First of all, as I read in the story, a group of women went to the tomb looking for his dead body so they could prepare it for its life in the tomb. Their actions said that they really didn't believe in what Christ told them. After arriving at the tomb, the Lord addresses their doubt with this question. You see this in Luke chapter 24. They said, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but risen. Remember how he spoke to you when he was still in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again." Beloveds, the angel made them remember that they should not have planned to see the dead body, but to prepare to see the life of Christ in his new body. Another act of doubt of his disciples occurred after those who had been at the tomb told the disciples what they saw. You see this in Luke 24 as well. It said they returned from the tomb, told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. And their words seemed to them like idle tales, and they did not believe them. But Peter rose. Listen to this. Peter said he ran to the tomb, and stooping down, he saw the linen clothes laying by themselves, and he departed, marveling to himself what had happened. Beloveds, you see that only Peter had enough faith to at least go look in the tomb and see for himself that Christ was not there. I must say this, and it is a message to us today. They were looking for Christ in the wrong places. He's not dead, he's alive. Beloveds, Christ had no other option at this point to do what he always does, and he will do it for you. He will come find you where you are at and take you to his place of reality. You see this in Mark chapter 16, and I must read this, 14 through 18, which says, "Later he, Jesus, appeared to the 11 as they sat at the table, and he rebuked their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they did not believe those things who had seen him after he had risen. He said to them, 'Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, but he who does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will follow them that believe.'" I love this part. He said, "In my name, they will cast out demons. They will speak with new tongues. They will take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it will be by no means hurt them. They will lay hands on the sick and they will recover." Beloved, you see in the scripture that Jesus rebuked them. Oh yes, he let him know he was not happy that they did not believe what the tomb visitors told them. But listen to this. Instead of firing them, he promoted them from being ministers just in the local area to worldwide ministry. Beloveds, rejecting unbelieving men were elevated into Christ's foundation of ministry to the entire world. Christ did not let his hurt of rejection to what he told them to stop him from using them in his plan to reach the entire world. And I want you to really listen to this. For what I'm saying, Christ never gives up on you based on your inability to believe in him. Christ's love for you is ceaseless, causeless, and measureless. When you look for him in the wrong places, he will come find you. When your faith in what he has told you weakens because of unexpected events that shake you up emotionally, that make you forget what he has said, he will comfort you with his presence. And I pray today that you are inspired to give Christ a chance to do what he wants to do. He wants to do the same thing he did for his disciples in your life as well. He wants to keep you in his life. Whatever you're experiencing, he is not going to let it separate you from him. He wants you. Well, beloveds, I want to end this session and let you know that the resurrection story has a great message, that Christ will never give up on keeping you in fellowship with him. God bless you, and hope to share you again in my next YouTube video. God bless you.